What ETFs should I invest in? It sounds like a simple question, but underneath it is usually something much bigger. What if I pick the wrong one? What if I lose money? What if I wait too long and miss out? Most people don't fail at investing because they picked the wrong ETF. They fail because they stay stuck in research mode for years. In this video, we're going to give you a simple, practical way to decide what ETFs you can actually invest in without overthinking it. No hype, no secret picks, just a framework you can use confidently.
We'll briefly explain what an ETF is, and if you want a deeper explanation, we've already made full videos breaking that down. Then we'll talk about how to invest in ETFs in tax-advantaged accounts like a 401k, an ISA account, or a SIPP, because where you invest matters. Then we'll walk through a few types of ETFs that many long-term investors consider. Broad market stock ETFs, international ETFs, bond ETFs, and one simple all-in-one option. And at the end, we'll show you how to decide which direction fits your situation.
ETF means exchange traded fund, and it is simply a basket of investments. Instead of buying one company, you buy hundreds or even thousands at once. For example, a broad US market ETF might own companies like Apple, Microsoft, Johnson & Johnson, and hundreds more, all inside one fund. That's diversification, and diversification reduces the risk of one company ruining your portfolio. We've explained this deeply in previous videos, so if you want the mechanics, check the video ETFs Explained Simply. Today is about the decision, not the theory.
Before we talk about which ETFs, we need to talk about where you're investing them, because taxes can quietly reduce long-term growth if you ignore this. In many countries, you can invest certain amounts through tax-advantaged accounts. In the US, that might be a 401k or a Roth IRA. In the UK, that might be an ISA or a SIPP. In other countries, there are similar retirement or tax-sheltered accounts. So these are the type of accounts we can use to max out our investments before investing in tax investment accounts. Why does this matter? Because inside these accounts, your investments can grow without annual capital gains taxes. In some cases, withdrawals in retirement can be tax-free. Or you get tax relief on contributions. That's not a small difference. Over 20 or 30 years, taxes can mean tens of thousands in lost growth. So before asking which ETF, ask, am I using the most efficient account available to me? This section alone could save someone years of regret.
Now let's talk about the foundation. If someone says, I want to keep it simple, this is usually where we start. Broad market stock ETFs. These ETFs track large indexes like the S&P 500, the total US stock market, or global stock indexes. Examples many people use include S&P 500 or the FTSE All-World Index, and ETFs that track them like Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, VU, Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF, VTI, Vanguard FTSE All-World UCITS, ETF, VWRL. The ones I mentioned are all from Vanguard, but there are similar options on BlackRock, Invesco, Amundi, and others. Just do your own research and check the availability in your country. Keep in mind that the tickers within countries might be different for similar ETFs. For example, VU is not available in the UK, so you might find VUAG to be a similar ETF. And in other European countries, a similar ETF could be VUAA. We're not saying these are the only good options. We're saying these represent a category: broad, diversified, low-cost exposure to the stock market. Why do many long-term investors like these? Because they spread risk across hundreds of thousands of companies. They're low cost. They historically grow over long periods, even though they fluctuate year to year. They are not exciting. They are not flashy, but they are practical. And for many people, one broad ETF can already cover most of what they need.
One common question we hear is, should I only invest in my home country? That depends on your philosophy. Some investors prefer global diversification. That means owning companies across the US, Europe, Asia, emerging markets, all in one ETF. That's where something tracking the FTSE All-World or similar global index can make sense. Others combine a US ETF with a separate international ETF. The goal is diversification instead of perfection, because no one knows which country will outperform in the next 20 years. Owning the world reduces the risk of betting on the wrong one.
Stocks grow, but they also fall. Bond ETFs are different. They typically fluctuate less than stocks, provide income, and help smooth out volatility. Examples include total bond market ETFs or government bond ETFs. You'll see funds like Vanguard Total Bond Market ETF BND. Again, this is category thinking, not ticker obsession. Why some investors add bonds? Because not everyone has the same risk tolerance. If market drops make you panic and want to sell, adding bonds can help you stay invested. And staying invested matters more than squeezing out the highest possible return.
There's one more category that's worth mentioning, all-in-one ETFs. These automatically combine global stocks, bonds, and rebalancing in one single fund. Some examples internationally include life strategy style ETFs. This can be incredibly powerful for someone who doesn't want to manage multiple funds. One fund, automatic diversification, automatic rebalancing. Simple does not mean inferior. For many people, simple is what keeps them consistent.
Now, here's the part that matters most. Instead of thinking, what is the best ETF? Ask yourself if you're investing for 10 plus years. Can you tolerate market drops without selling? Do you want simplicity or customization? If you want simplicity, then a global, all world ETF or all in one fund may be enough. If you want more control, then you can combine a broad stock ETF with bonds. If you're young, stable income, long timeline, you may lean heavier into stocks. If you're closer to needing the money, you may increase bonds. There is no universal percentage. There is only alignment with your life. That's the decision framework.
If you've been stuck researching for months, let this be the moment you move from theory to action. You don't need 12 ETFs, market predictions, or perfect timing. What you probably need is a diversified fund, a tax-efficient account, and consistency.
Start simple. The most important is to stay consistent. And remember, the biggest investing mistake isn't choosing the wrong ETF. It's waiting in fear while inflation quietly does the damage. If this video helped, please subscribe to our channel. It will help us continuing to create more videos and reaching more people.
Hey, we're the money-wise couple.
We're not financial advisors, just a regular couple who
Paid off our debt, invested our money, became financially independent,
and we're here to help you do the same.